You busted them on your own, so pick up your phone. How'd you catch a cheater on the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric?
104.1 KRBE.
Oh, yes.
Didn't need us.
How did you catch a cheater? You do not need roses because you figured it out on your own, unfortunately, but you are here to teach us now. Whether you are the one that was the cheater and you got caught, or you were in the relationship and you were suspicious and you caught them. 833-390-KRBE.
You know, one of my very best friends in the world is a divorce attorney, and he echoes what Roula always says, trust your gut. He said, in cases where you suspect, 99% of the time, you are right.
Listen to that second brain, y'all. It's there for a reason, that gut instinct. Okay, Brenda is up first. Again, our number is 833-390-KRBE. Hi, Brenda. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Before you tell us how you caught your cheater, tell us the background of the relationship with this person. Married for how many years? Boyfriend, long-term relationship? What was it?
We have been married to my husband for 9 years.
Okay.
We had, the year before had been really bad. We had just buried my mom, and it was difficult. We were struggling with that. And,
Oh, your phone's cutting out.
we had, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah. So your mother had passed away. You're going through a tough time emotionally.
Right. And his behavior, he was a creature of habit, and all of a sudden he was acting differently. So I knew something was up.
Mm-hmm.
What was the
And he,
different thing? Like he was talking about somebody a lot, or going to the gym, or going on extra errands?
Going to the gym.
Oh, okay. So he's
Going
changing his
to the
routine.
gym.
He wants to look better.
All right. So then at what point do you
And,
get that sick stomach feeling like, I think there's somebody else?
His behavior just wasn't the same. He started being mean. He started arguments for no reason.
Yep.
So I went to the gym. I went to both locations that he told me he would be at, and he wasn't there. So I knew something was up.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
then what was the next step? How'd you figure that out? So then would you figure out where he really was?
Well, I had a spare iPhone, so I downloaded an app called Footprints.
Okay.
Footprint.
You can set up parameters on the app,
Okay.
and I threw it in the back of his trunk. And when he goes outside those parameters, it'll send you texts and emails. And it told me that he went outside those parameters. So it actually gave me the coordinates of where he was at.
Oh, my gosh.
Girl, you
Yeah.
did not go over there.
Did you?
Yes, I did. Yes, I
Where was he?
did. He was at a motel.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
That's the thing.
Was it with a person that he knew, or was it a hired hand that he was with?
I have
Hired
no
help.
idea. They called the cops on me. So
They called the cops on you?
What did you do wrong?
yes.
She went busting through that door?
She had a shovel.
I didn't do anything wrong. They said that they wanted me off the property because I wasn't a paying customer.
Oh, okay.
Okay, hold up. How'd they even know? Unless he saw your car and called the front desk and said, get that lady off the property. She's not staying here.
The girl called.
Oh, man.
Okay.
So you find out, for those just tuning in, it's called the Footprint app. Brenda threw it in the trunk of her husband's car, an extra iPhone, and it showed the parameters that she had put where he should be. He was outside the parameters. She went to the location. It was a motel. And when you showed up, do you know who the girl was, or did you ever get to see her, or how far
No.
did y'all take it?
She never came out of the room.
Oh, okay.
But he came out.
He came out, but she never came out of the room.
What
and
did
then
he say?
That's when he told me to go home.
What? So he did not admit to do any wrongdoing.
The fact that
He told me he never loved me. And we ended up, of course.
Oh,
Hey, can I ask you about that footprint, that extra phone? Was that phone, were you paying for the phone or was it just a dummy phone? Like you don't pay?
Yeah, it was an active line.
It was active,
It was
okay.
an active line.
I didn't know if you didn't have to be active and you could have an app to your
for
phone.
most people, they cannot afford having a second phone. Recommend get an AirTag. You can hide that anywhere in the car.
But the
and
problem is the
see-
AirTag shows up.
And it makes a beep.
AirTag will tell you if
Yeah,
it's
it
on
does.
there.
You're connected to your
What she
phone.
did was way
Yeah.
smarter because
Yeah.
it's not going to say footprints following
And they can
me.
set parameters.
AirTag, you know if someone has an AirTag
Right.
around you.
Brenda, one more question. When you show up to the motel and your husband tells you to go home, obviously he has no shame in his game and does not care that you have found him at a motel. But what was the after, like the next day? I mean, didn't he have to come home? I mean, did he just disappear?
Is that when he said, I don't love you anymore?
Yeah, where did it go from there?
He showed up at my house with his parents, and he got his stuff and moved in with his parents.
Oh, God. I bet their parents are proud of that loser.
So, but you guys are divorced,
Sorry
right?
you went through that.
Yeah, you guys are gone.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
I've been divorced 7 years now.
Where are you at now? Are you seeing anybody, or are you just still too hurt to go out there and date?
I'm healed now, but the dating pool is trash, so I prefer to be single.
Trash.
That's what people are saying.
That is so funny. Dating pool is trash. All right, Brenda. I'm sorry that happened, but I'm glad to know what you just taught a lot of people something. So hopefully you helped out the next person. We really appreciate you sharing your story.
And that app is called what?
It's called Footprint.
Footprint.
Jasmine is up next at 833-390-KRBE. How'd you catch your cheater? Jasmine, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you guys?
Wonderful.
Morning.
So,
I understand you have another app you're going to open our eyes to on how you caught your cheater. What's the app?
so technically, it's not an app. That was back in 2010, and he was always very protective of his phone. It was the BlackBerry, if you're aware of that type of phone.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I have been hearing like so many stories about like how there's something going on, and people have been trying to kind of like bring to my attention that you should pay more attention to what's going on and this and that. And he was always protective of his phone. He had like a pin on it and everything. So at some point, the only thing he didn't do was he would have like a backup on his laptop. And there was a pin on the laptop that he didn't know that I caught on.
Oh.
So I bought another phone, the same version of the phone. And then I hooked it up to the laptop, put in the pin, and basically I had a very updated version of his phone on that other phone.
So you had a mirror.
And then,
Wow.
What was that?
Yes,
what was that
exactly.
like? Those scenes, like his text
Yeah,
or seeing
well,
him.
Read the
Did you want to
actual
throw
words.
up? I'd get so sick to my stomach if I saw that.
Oh, yeah. And mind you, I had found out like 6 days later that I was 6 weeks pregnant.
Oh,
And so what happened was I started taking screenshots and sending, and he was on a guy trip. So I sent it to his phone, like I sent screenshots of the text messages to his phone while he was like in another town with his guys. And he's like, what's going on? What's going on? And then I was like, don't you see what's going on? This is what I found out. And of course, like it blew up, and you know, it was like very tragic, of course, given the situation. And we had been together for so many years prior to even getting married. But yeah, so it was very interesting. And of course, you know, it blew up into like, oh, I'm so sorry, and
God.
you know, I'll make this better, and for the baby, let's try it one more time, and all that. But
did you?
Unfortunately, I did, but we're not together
It didn't
anymore.
work. Can I ask you,
You tried,
what,
though.
were
Yeah,
the,
like-
what were the emotional signs? Like, obviously there are clues, but was there a difference in his
yeah.
personality and behavior? Like, not being as
for
affectionate,
sure.
not, you know, doing this or that?
There were so many signs, and I tried to turn a blind eye. So, like, before we got married, there were also signs that I, like, ignored. And then once we got married, there were also some signs. Mind you, again, like, right before I had found out, we were actually, like, we were living overseas, and we were on a trip to Europe. So we were actually having a good time. But, like, even during that trip to Europe, I was seeing some signs of, like, weird phone calls and things like that. And then one of my friends, and he had actually bought a gift for that other person. And he claimed it was for one of our friends. And then that friend, she called me and she was like, that was not for me. You should know that. How could you not realize that?
Oh, my
And
gosh. He
God.
bought a gift on vacation with you for the
my
mistress?
God.
Oh, a keychain?
Yes.
Oh,
Had her
my
name?
God. What was the
God.
gift, Jasmine? What was the
no.
gift? I'm curious. What did he buy?
It was, so it was an adult toy. He had claimed that he bought it for our couple friend.
What?
And then, yeah.
That is the
And then
stupidest
the
excuse I've
lady-
ever heard.
I got to buy one of these for my buddy. Hey,
Oh,
Eric,
my
I was on
God.
vacation. I bought you
Oh,
a sex
thanks,
toy.
man. This is awesome. A Hawaiian one.
That is insane. The
Insane.
stupidity of the lies
What a dork.
of cheating men just astounds me every time. That's unreal. Jasmine, wow.
Life in Houston revolves around the weather, the traffic, and the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.
If it's happening, we're talking about it.
KRBE.
Get all sorts of calls on the listener line, 713-278-VENT. People want advice or, opinions.
Yeah, because everyone's going through something different. And we just need you to hear this one and give us a call at 833-390-KRBE. What do you think about this call? Here we go.
So I had something really great happen to me this year, but also really crummy. My aunt passed away, and we were really close. And before she died, she made it very clear that she was going to leave her fortune to me and half to charity. And my siblings and my mom or whatever, nobody really cared because we figured it would be like maybe, I don't know, $4,000 or $5,000 or something, no big deal. But unfortunately, when she passed, I inherited $100,000. Anyway, my family is really on the outs with me, and they are upset. And now my mother had a sit down with me the other day saying, my brother needs help, my sister needs help, everybody, has, all these problems and the broken car, and they have debt, and I'm not opposed to giving them a little something here or there, $500, $1,000 or whatever, but should I feel bad keeping this for myself? Why should I be punished because I did all the right things in life and I stayed on the straight and narrow and I paid all my bills?
Yeah.
Oh,
Here's what I'd have to say to the family.
Well, the hell with that.
So
your
she
family,
got
though.
$100,000 from her aunt. Nobody else got anything. The other half of the aunt's fortune went to charity. And here's my thing: if the family didn't know she got $100,000, like why did they have to know that?
Yeah,
she could have just said, "I got something from Aunt Sarah." But who was responsible for telling everybody else how much
the
she
info?
got? Because now once it's out there, they can't stop thinking about it.
Was she the executor?
Even if you're the executive, you keep it to yourself.
Yeah, you
But
wouldn't tell
that's what I'm saying. But
everybody.
if, say, the mom is...
Oh, if they were like at the
Right.
reading of a
Or
will
someone
or
else.
something,
that's what I was
and they say
thinking.
what
I've
happened.
only seen it on movies.
too.
Well-
where they like go and
They
sit
say
around
what
and
it
they're like,
is.
let me read who gets what. And
Whatever
then
the
it's like, you can't
case,
get out of that.
they know. I think the problem I have is that, I will donate or I will give you whatever you need, but don't act so entitled like you deserve this
That's it.
or you demand
But
They're
this.
asking for
what have
help.
we learned?
They're asking for help.
Yeah,
Like you.
yeah.
But
I mean,
we've
it's
learned,
just
Eric, that
all
it
how
never
you
stops.
ask.
It never stops. It starts with 500 here, 1,000 there, 1,200 there,
And it never
another
stops.
400 here. Can you give me 250 over here because you have this and I have this and you got that and that's all free money
That money
for
goes
you.
fast, too.
$100,000, you will burn through it in a blink
I
if
got,
you're
like,
not careful. Giving
my-
money to everybody in your family.
Like in 2000, my dad died, and I think I got like $80,000. And within about a year and a half, 2 years, it was gone.
Jeez.
What'd you spend it on? Do you know?
Pay off debt, and then I bought stuff for the radio thing. It was like $6,000. Then my ex-wife's like, well, if you're buying that, I should get something or something. It's like
Oh,
Yeah.
just
tit for
stupid.
tat.
Like I was at a point, I didn't even cash a check, my work check for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you're just
And then it
living off
just-
that money.
And then it just disappeared because you're just stupid. And that's what's going to happen to her. This $100,000 will be gone in 5 months.
But if they're frustrated-
833-390-KRBE is our number. 833-390-KRBE. Maybe you've been in this position. Maybe you're the person in your family that was given some money in an inheritance and everybody else was jealous about it. Do you think that this woman it is obligated to help out her siblings or her mom who are saying, well, the car's broke down and we need you to pay for that?
Well, I think you just
versus them just being on the hook
the
for
magic
themselves.
word there. It's that feeling of obligation that irritates most people. Like, I am a very giving person. I will take care of. If
You
I
love your family.
if I love you, I'm going to do everything in my power to help you. But when it's demanded or it's expected, and they guilt you if you don't.
So maybe a
that's
good point
not-
on text,
that's
guys.
not right.
Yep.
It sounds like the family didn't care when they thought it'd be just like $5,000.
Oh,
They
yeah.
only care that's 100.
Yeah.
Well, why? What changed now? No, they're just looking for the money. So let's
That's
go.
true.
Let's go to the phones. 833-390-KRBE. Hi, is this Luis?
Yes, hello. Good morning.
Hi, welcome to the Roula and Ryan Show. What's your opinion on the caller's situation?
So think about the disorder. I was telling them, this is like the life they chose to, and for them to ask for help,
No, I don't know.
No,
saying-
your phone's kind of like hard
I
to
don't
hear.
know because the phone cut out a little bit. You're saying, say that one more time, Luis, because you're having trouble with your phone.
So it's like that's the life chose. Like they chose this life, and they're asking for help now. I get it if they were younger, but they're old. They're grown now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nobody told you to get yourself into this predicament.
That's true.
Why am I responsible to get you out?
Just because I was given. What if they found out you make a lot of money? Maybe you make $100,000 a year, and your family wants you to support them.
Like, well, you make more money than
I only
anybody
make $40,000 a year. You make $100,000. Can you give me some more? Give me what?
Yeah.
Go get a second job.
That's a bad attitude for people to have. Like, wow, they're doing well. They owe me. No, nobody owes you anything in this life.
James is up next at 833-390-KRBE about the woman who inherited $100,000 from her aunt. Nobody else in the family got anything, and now everyone's guilting her into sharing the money. James, hi. What's your opinion?
Well, my opinion is that I've actually went through this. My brother passed away from cancer, and he left me and my sister some money, but nothing to my mom. And I think it goes back to this. The angle it's not being looked at is who knows how often she came and visited this person. She probably maybe had lunch once a week, called her, all this other stuff. None of the family did anything. Maybe she got sick. She decided to change her will because these people didn't come around, but this person did. So I'm going to leave that to them. And so now she passes away. Oh, well, we didn't get anything. Yeah, but now you want something because I have something.
Yeah.
You didn't care before she passed away.
You're so
and
right.
Being a firefighter, I see this all the time, unfortunately, when I transport sick patients, right? Family gets upset, but they were never around, or unfortunately you transport people, and they don't have any family. So that's the angle, right? Like, it probably happened to what y'all said earlier. They were reading the will and found out that, wow, we didn't get anything? Well, I want something. Well, maybe you should have been around when she was alive.
Right. How about your mom? You said your mom. Was your mom upset then that you guys...
Absolutely. So my brother still had some debt when he passed away, and so my mom wanted to take the money. So there were three people that got money: my mom, my sister, myself, and his son. And she wanted the money to come out of either my sister or my portion to pay the debt that he had, because whatever debt he had would have then been taken out of what was for his son, and the rest would go to his son when he turned 18.
Was your mom responsible for paying that debt?
Correct. Yes. Right. Okay. Because she became the executor of the money, and the way it was written through the military was she can only pay bills, and then we're going to hold the rest because my nephew was 8 at the time. So my sister got a check for $150. I got a check for $150. But my mom didn't want to take some from her nephew. She wanted something, right? So she wanted me to give her the money back. I mean, but my mom was my mom. So, that's the biggest thing is my thing is I don't think they were around as much as this individual who called was. That's why it changed to what it was.
Did your brother have a tough relationship with your mother, and that's why he excluded her?
So he was in the military. He was deployed, then found out he had cancer. And so they really had kind of a rocky relationship just kind of to begin with. But when he was gone, like when he came to Indy Anderson, we grew up in San Antonio. So when he came to Houston, I moved from San Antonio to Houston to live with him, right? Like, hey, we're going to try and beat this. I'm moving with you. And my mom never really came throughout the year and a half.
Oh,
so
there you go.
My mom's never really done well with finances. And so, like, I've had to bail her out of some stuff. Like, I actually take care of her finances now. Her bills get paid because I pay them for her. So she's always had to borrow money. I don't even talk to my aunts and uncles because of the amount of money that she's borrowed from them and never paid back. And so
that's no good.
And so then they come to me to want the money to pay back if they want a relationship with me. It's so...
Well, I think you just answered it.
It's like, once people know you have the money, James... They're never unknowing it.
That's really tough.
And they're just going to constantly chase you down thinking, well, you got that money and it wasn't yours before. What's the big deal?
What he said makes a lot of sense. Remember, this is the deceased person's wishes. So
and that's actually what
they did not wish for you guys to have that money. They wished for that person to have it.
School drop off complete. Now enjoy the rest of the Roula and Ryan show with Eric in peace on your smart speaker.
Alexa, play KRBE.
Oh, if you have a favorite child.
We always ask people that, and then people do call in.
And actually openly admit that?
I say people have a favorite child at the moment. Like at that
the one
moment,
that's giving the least amount of grief in
I
that
think it
moment.
changes. You're right. I think it
I could see
changes.
that.
I'd say like
you
right,
love them. I think you can love them all equally, but you can have a favorite at
like
that time.
in the moment. Like, oh, they're really.
I saw this poll
excelling.
though that says 46% of people feel one of their siblings is their favorite. So 40% think their favorite. 6% said the parents showed no favoritism. The kids said the parents said 6% of them show no favoritism. They keep them all equal. Like at Christmas
6%.
time, you get 10 gifts, you get 10 gifts. Because some kids are hooked on that number. It doesn't matter.
They
Yeah.
You get one huge gift that is equal to those 10, but kids don't see it that way.
It was
Right.
just one gift, right?
Yeah, because they don't understand the money concept.
40% of people think that they are the favorite. Did y'all ever think y'all were the favorite?
Absolutely.
Of course I was.
Yeah.
I thought I was.
Two
Now
girls,
I'm-
only boy.
But
you're,
then
you're the only girl.
Connor came around.
Yeah, Connor took you out.
Younger brother.
That's why you were so
The
mad.
older brother? Nah. People are like,
Wh-
you have
why
an
do you
older brother?
think?
I'm like, yes.
Why do you think that your older brother took you out?
No, it's a younger
No, the
brother.
younger brother.
Because he's
Younger
the
brother.
baby.
Because he's the baby.
Mm-hmm.
He's the boy.
Still,
And Eric is the baby. That's why he's like, yeah, he's
Exactly.
Like
do you think he's
Baby
still
boy.
number one over you?
Of course.
Yeah. Except for now I have a grandbaby. So I'm kind of like, oh, look what I have.
It's a
You don't
2-for-1
have that,
deal.
Connor.
But that's
I
why
had
your mom.
provided them with grandchildren.
That's why
Exactly.
Connor's like her baby now because you're too busy with other, with your kids.
Well, I'm
But she
seeing
can
her
still
on
baby him.
Tuesday, and she is so excited because we're going to South Carolina. My parents are coming with us, and Connor's coming too, which I'm so excited because Connor's my favorite.
Rula, did you
And
feel
Connor
like
used to
you?
not be your favorite.
Did you feel like you
Your older
were
brother. Ouch.
the fave?
No, I was definitely not the favorite, but if you ask my older sisters, I was not favorited. I got away with murder because I wasn't paid attention to.
Oh.
I was able to do whatever I wanted.
Sometimes parents mellow too. Like you were not first in line. You're in the middle.
Fourth kid, they're like 4th out of 5.
Oh yeah, you're towards the end.
My sister had the hardest run than my brother.
Who's their favorite? I feel
Everybody's
like
favorite is the youngest boy.
Yeah.
Terry.
My brother Terry is everybody's favorite. Even amongst the siblings, if we had to pick who's your favorite, it's Terry. Because he's like the gentle giant. He's the baby. And when you have you have 5 kids, and all of us were about 18 to 22 months apart, but then he and I are almost 4 years apart, kind of like the same philosophy with you, Sam, and your brother came so many years later.
Right.
When the bigger the gap is, the more chance you have to appreciate it. Like
That's
if I
true.
had I had my kids, boom, boom, boom. If I had a 4th kid that was 5 years younger than my son, all 3 of my kids before that 4th kid would be like, favorite one is the 4th one.
You're not competing against
Yes.
each other.
And you remember
It's
like
different. You help-
babying them,
yeah,
and you remember them when they were babies and stuff like that. When
Yeah, but
they're
when
really
you're
close together, you
older-
remember that.
When you're
That's
old,
true.
like I'm the oldest of 3, and my baby brother Kevin. There's a 10-year gap between the two of us. He got away with murder. It was insane, and that made me mad.
Well, because in every first sibling had to take on the most responsibility.
Yes.
And I was really
You were the
hugging.
example maker.
Yeah, I was really hugging on my daughter over the weekend. My oldest daughter is 13. And I just was hugging on her. And I said, because I was thinking when she was 6, the other ones were so much smaller than her. And I was so in the trenches. And at 6, I was like expecting her, come on, you're 6, come on. But when my baby, the baby of the babies, was 6, I'm like, oh, he's only 6.
Then you're like, oh crap, I forgot. I treated
I
another
just
one
was
like
really
an
hugging
adult.
on her, like, hey, you know what? I just really love you so much, and I know you always have to like hold it down. Like I acknowledge that, you know what I mean? Because by nature, I think the oldest kid takes on like a responsible
Oh, for sure.
thing. Like I'm married to an oldest child. My husband is the oldest of his brood. I'm the baby. It's a really crazy thing.
I think I don't know. I just feel like these older siblings feel like they're the best.
Well,
like,
it was put on them.
I did
Well, you
everything
feel
for you.
like
I
you
had
had
so
to
hard in my
pave
life.
the way.
but
they
it was
think,
put on them.
Are you
my
the
sister,
baby,
my sister
Eric?
does that too. She's like, oh, my life was so much harder. I'm like,
Are you the baby, Eric?
whatever. Yeah.
He's the baby and the only boy. He's got 2
Yeah.
older sisters. Of course, your oldest sister, Tammy,
Oh.
had a lot put on
I
her
had to do all
because
this-
the oldest girl
I had to
takes
do all
on
this stuff.
the second mother role.
It's like, whatever.
What
Unless
was it
you're
you
Sam
had to
and she
hear the
hates the
most that
baby.
drove you nuts?
I just like, we have those arguments when she comes down here. She's like, my life was so much harder. I'm like, you win. Here's a cookie.
Oh,
I'm like, last I checked, you were a grown up when my parents died. I was still in high school.
Oh,
so
you had it harder.
That's my trump card on you.
It's just a lot of like,
You can say
all
I
you
did this,
want.
you did
Yeah.
that. That's how it is with Kyle and
I do all this work. I'm like, I never saw you in the farm. I was doing that since I was 8.
Yeah.
I was like my uncle. I was doing things that aren't even legal now for like
Child
Kids to be
labor
around.
laws.
child labor laws, mixing chemicals together on the back of a truck, put the tailgate down, mixing things. The wind's blowing into my mouth. I didn't have anything covered.
Oh, my.
I explained a few things in my life.
Probably.
But yeah, the stuff that my sister never did. She, I did that stuff. I'm like, no, you didn't.
Is
So we
it
fight
so-
about the stupid things that we can't prove.
If
'cause-
you're just tuning in, we're talking about is there a favorite child or not? There's a stat, and Eric said that many people will say, well, I have a favorite one right now. This texter says, I about disowned 2 of my kids this past weekend after they played a TikTok trick on me. FaceTime me with this and sends a picture of some scary thing. I don't know, something scary. And then no favorites right now. So,
No
yeah,
favorites.
No
like
favorites
right
right
now,
now.
there's no favorites.
What about
because
you?
they are all
Kevin's
in
quiet
the
over here.
Kevin,
trouble.
come
I feel like
on.
his brother had to be the
Where are
favorite.
you in the lineup?
Oh, God, I'm at the point of guilt because my dad will get, and he's done this like 3 years in a row, my dad will get me and Booster Christmas gifts, but not my brother.
Why?
He feels like since he got something for my brother's kids, that counts.
What?
Well, it does.
So he doesn't
So-
give your brother a gift. He gives
Right.
his children
He spends the same amount on both families, I guess. But my brother and Sheree, they don't really get anything. But me and my
How'd this
brother
come up now in January?
had this come up now.
Yeah.
Well, this happens every year, and I think back we're talking about favorites. Yeah,
Plus,
and
Kevin's getting like cool stuff. Look at this cashmere sweater I got.
not really. I mean,
but
it's Lowe's gift card,
If,
but
if he's
still.
spending money on the grandchild, I think that covers the base.
That sucks as a kid. That would suck to see
But
your
you're-
dad
but
give
you're
a
my
present
dad.
to your brother and not you.
No, I think is your brother really upset?
I mean, he said it's kind of awkward, and
He's
plus
upset.
my brother and I, we go in together on gifts for my dad, and we did that this year.
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing is that my brother iced out my mom over Christmas this past Christmas, so he's not the favorite right now.
And he usually was because he's the younger of the
What
two
do you mean,
boys.
iced
You're the
her
oldest.
out?
He's the younger.
He went without her and did not invite her to Colorado to go visit with the brother-in-law and the little cousins. So, they did the other side of the family. And then when they got back, they felt like, they didn't have any time together as a family. So they just wanted no one there. Well, I
Not
showed
even your
up.
mom.
No, not my mom, but I came for like a night or two. And so that was awkward. And so my mother was like, I just don't understand why your brother would do such a thing. I mean, so
Are we going to have to wipe this from the podcast?
Yeah.
In the whole
Yes.
I've kind of been the favorite, I guess, for a little while. And plus, my brother says since I live so far away, I am celebrated when I get home. Like, oh my
Yes.
God, Kevin's home. Get the Mountain Dew out. He's coming from Texas. You know how far that is away. Yes. I was always celebrated for the
But
last
they don't have Mountain Dew in
20,
Texas.
20 years.
Get that Mountain Dew
Get
out.
the apple pies ready. Oh my goodness, he's coming with a boyfriend.
Boyfriend. Now a
That's
husband.
funny.
Yeah.
So for your whole childhood, Colin was the favorite, but
I
now
think so.
you are the
He was the
celebrated
baby,
one.
and then he fell out of grace.
I'm sure you don't rub that in his face.
No, what I rub in his
you know he
face
does.
is that, like, I'm like, hey, who's the oldest? When we sit in front of waitress, hey, who's the
And
oldest?
did you say, I'm taking mom on a vacation. We're going on a cruise.
Oh, that was the other thing.
They went on a cruise.
He was invited on that vacation, and he decided not to go. But he went to Turks and Caicos with some of his friends from the neighborhood.
But not his-
instead of Thanksgiving with mom and me and
Oh.
Booster on the cruise ship.
And there's Kevin needling.
All right, y'all go to the listener line if you want to give us your thoughts on favorite child or favoritism or lack of favoritism. 713-278-VENT.